This summer was a breaking point for me. After graduation, I convinced myself I had things figured out. At least I wanted to believe that. But the truth is, I really didn't. And when I realized that, I found myself spiraling down a dark path of anxiety and depression, feeling like I had become a failure. Now, dealing with my mental health isn't new to me, but this particular moment in my life felt like the last straw in a much bigger story that's been unfolding the last 4 years. But talking about it, that's different. That's something I've always ran from. But as soon as I swallowed my pride and moved back home, I did something I honestly never thought I'd ever do. I started going to therapy. And if you had mentioned that word to me a few months ago, I probably would have laughed it off, maybe changed the subject, or just disappeared from the conversation entirely. But deep down, I think I've always known I needed it. There's a lot of reasons why opening up has always felt so terrifying to me. But the biggest one by far was that I didn't want to bother people with my struggles. I thought that the things I was going through wasn't worth anyone else's time. I really didn't need to bother them. But honestly, the truth was I was scared. Scared that if I opened up, the few people I had in my life would run away. So I convinced myself I could handle it alone, telling myself I'll figure it out or I'm fine.
There's this idea that honestly I've been struggling with for the past couple of years, that no one really wants to hear it, or maybe the fear of what happens next. What happens if opening up doesn't fix anything? What if it just makes everything more real? And I can't lie to you, it's terrifying. Admitting out loud I'm not okay, and letting someone else see the parts of me I've been spending years hiding.
But what I quickly realized is that no matter how strong I thought I was, I couldn't do this alone anymore. Carrying everything in my head, holding it all in, it starts to break you down. The weight of it all, the constant thoughts, the anxiety, the pressure, it felt heavier than anything I'd ever physically carried before. And no matter how much I tried to keep it together, it was always there, dragging me down. So when the realization hit me, I'm really struggling to find a reason to get out of bed. That's when I knew I had to talk to someone. Of course, when I first started opening up about some of my biggest struggles, it was uncomfortable. It felt strange to say those things out loud, things I had kept locked inside for so long. But strangely enough, once I said them, the weight started to ease off my shoulders. Things began to feel lighter. I started to come to terms with my situation instead of constantly fighting it. There's a certain power in being honest with yourself, in confronting those hard truths you've always avoided. But until you break down that wall, those truths will just stay with you, quietly holding you back. I discovered that silence creates this paradox of safety. At first, it feels like the best option. Keeping your struggles to yourself seems easier than facing others. But the more you hide it, the more isolated you become. And even though admitting you're not okay feels uncomfortable, maybe even terrifying, it's also the most freeing feeling I've ever experienced. I'm not saying you have to go to therapy, but what I am asking is, please talk to someone. A friend, your mom, your dad, your brother, somebody. I know how easy it is to convince yourself that you can handle it alone, to tell yourself, I'll be fine, I just need time. But I promise you, no matter how strong you think you are, you can't keep carrying everything on your own. I used to believe that real strength meant keeping it all inside, pushing through in silence. Like admitting I was struggling somehow made me weak. But the truth, real strength isn't admitting when you're not okay. It's in choosing to open up, even when every instinct inside is telling you to hide. And I get it, opening up is terrifying. Talking about what you're going through isn't easy. It makes everything feel real, and real is scary. What if they don't understand? What if they look at you differently? What if saying it out loud doesn't fix anything? But keeping it to yourself doesn't fix anything either. It just isolates you, convinces you that no one would care or that you'd be a burden if you spoke up, but you're not a burden. The people who truly care about you, they want to be there. They want to listen. Struggling is inevitable. It's a part of being human. Life is going to knock you down again and again, and for a long time, I thought I had to get back up alone. But healing, that's just as inevitable. And it starts the moment you stop carrying it all by yourself. It starts the moment you let somebody in. I'm still learning how to open up. This healing journey is something I think I'm going to be on for a long time, and that's okay. Talking to someone isn't going to change the fact that life is hard, but what it will do is remind you that you don't have to go through it alone, that there's somebody out there who understands, that even in your darkest moments, you're not alone.